team will play Mali on Wednesday in their final warm-up match before they leave Gabon for Equatorial Guinea, where the Africa Cup of Nations is taking place. On Saturday, the team were in action when they came from behind to draw 1-1 with Cameroon, a team ranked 10 places above South Africa in the world rankings. The areas of weakness, however, in Bafana's game were again displayed, as was their passionate fighting spirit. To chat about the team and their chances at winning a second continental crown, we're joined in studio by football analyst Ike Obidike. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's chat a little bit about Bafana Bafana. Once again, we saw them start really slow, something that I hope they're not really making a habit of, but coming back.
Yes, they started very slowly, and a lot of us were concerned, considering that, we have a unique situation whereby the defending champion is not attending the Nations Cup because they couldn't qualify. In 1996, when South Africa hosted it and won it, we had the same situation where the defending champion, and in the two situations like now, the defending champion is Nigeria. So same situation now. So when South Africa started slowly against Cameroon, and you could see the Cameroonians were very comfortable on the ball, I was a bit concerned. Eventually, and they considered an early goal, which obviously rattled them, and they warmed up and tried to get into the game, and you could see from there the Cameroonians were getting a bit concerned because now the South Africans were coming at them, like voracious lions. But in the second half, they played like the Bafana Bafana we expected to see. Unfortunately, they couldn't score more than one goal.
What is the problem then? I mean, because we've seen it against Zambia, and there's no doubt that there's the quality in the team, because we see that when they kick into gear, as we did on Saturday night in the second half. So, I mean, what really is Coach Shakes Mashaba supposed to be doing with the guys, because it's just a week away before they actually play Algeria?
There's not much. We shouldn't be too concerned about the Cameroon game as such, the way they started, because if you consider an early goal, every match plan has to be changed automatically, because now you're behind and the game just started. And if you don't fix things there and then, because if you concede the second goal immediately or even thereafter, then it becomes a more difficult task. So when they conceded the first goal in the early minutes, it was like expected that there would be a bit changes in the match plan that they came into the game with. And obviously the second half gave us much hope, because they now played like Bafana Bafana that we know, and the Cameroon team obviously were rattled and chased the game. They tried to keep it at 1-1. In fact, they battled to keep it at 1-1 to the end of the game. So there's not, we shouldn't be concerned about the Cameroon game at all. In fact, we should have hope and actually confidence going to the Nations Cup, because the second half was, the Bafana we know, and it's what matters. But the match against Gabon that's coming up on Wednesday will actually give us a very good picture of how the team would perform in the Nations Cup.
How do you rate South Africa's chances at the Africa Cup of Nations?
7 out of 10. Because there are a lot of other teams, because of the unique situation whereby the defending champion is not here, every team believes they have a chance to win the Nations Cup. There are a lot of contenders. At least up to half of the teams attending the Nations Cup are contenders. But for me, I see only about 6 or 5 teams that could win the Nations Cup.
Are Bafana one of those teams?
Yes.
And the other teams?
I've got Bafana in the list. There's Burkina Faso. They are the losing finalists, and we shouldn't forget that. And they have a very good team. They are there. There's Cameroon, same Cameroon we saw. The Lions, when they play, they are very tough, and they are very confident. And going into a tournament, you must have the confidence that you would win it. You're not going there to try. You must believe that you can win it. And the Lions, whichever team of the indomitable Lions they put out there believes that they're the best in the continent, even if they don't even get to the finals. So there's Cameroon, there's Algeria, which is actually number 1 on the list. They are the number 1 in Africa. And in the last 2 years or so, they've been the best team in Africa. So they actually feel that this is their right time, that in fact is their cup to take. So there's Algeria there as well. There's Tunisia there. So it's a whole lot of mix there.
But Ike, you haven't mentioned the 2012 champions in Zambia, and you haven't mentioned Cote d'Ivoire.
Surprise, surprise. Zambia is the Zambia we see now. The Zambia team now is not the same Zambia that won the Nations Cup. Obviously, they will fancy their chances of taking the cup, but I don't rate them at all. I don't even see them getting to the semi-final would be an achievement for them. Unfortunately, so if you watch their games in the qualifiers, they struggled. They really struggled very much, and they've not been any better even after the qualifiers. They lost to Bafana in the friendly match, and I don't really have much hope in Zambia. In about Cote d'Ivoire, the golden age is really past. They still have some of the stars, but they are not the same. There's Yaya Toure, there's Javino, and a whole lot of them. But I think their golden time is past. And if you look at their qualifying matches, they really struggled. Cameroon beat them 4-1. You don't beat a contender 4-1 in a qualifier. It doesn't happen. Yeah. So, and they struggled in every other match. And when in the return leg against Cameroon, they played a draw. And if you, let's say there was a glitch in your preparation or whatever happened and you lost by mistake by 4-1, you should show your power in the return leg by taking revenge. But they couldn't, and they played a draw. So Cote d'Ivoire, for me, they are not a contender for me.
They're not a contender for you, but Bafana Bafana certainly are. Ike Obidike, thank you very much for coming into studio and chatting to us about the Africa Cup of Nations and who you believe will actually lift the trophy. It's certainly going to be very, very difficult, and it all gets underway in just a couple of days' time. South Africa's first match, however, is in just a week against Algeria. That's the continent's top-ranked team. That concludes this sports bulletin. It's time now to see what's happening in your headline news with Hayanda.